expanding the NCAA tournament. We've talked about this for a long time. Now, you guys know I'm just humble Lil Monty over here.
Lil Monty.
You guys all, not all of you, I think probably Mike Smith and Dakota
Tubinsky,
told me how stupid I was when I said the NCAA tournament was expanded. They didn't. It just is what it is. But we had a lot of people say, "Oh, this tournament's never expanding, fat ass. Have another chocolate bar." Nobody ever said that. The point is, we've been telling you on this show for the better part of 6 months that the NCAA tournament was going to expand. And it was not a matter of if, but when would the NCAA tournament expand. And finally, now we are getting some reporting. Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports confirming little old Monty, Uncle Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Uncle Monty's story that the NCAA tournament is, in fact, expanding as soon as 25-26, which seems to kind of be a line in the sand, if you will, for revenue generation in terms of NCAA sports, because we're looking at, I think, the Super League in some form or fashion as early as 25-26. Obviously, when you have this expansion with the TV contract, now you're getting NCAA tournament expansion, which, of course, is going to lead to Title IX issues. So we will have women's NCAA tournament expansion. All to say, revenue generation is exploding in the world of college sports. There is going to be new things, new avenues, new processes in place to make sure that these universities can make the money to sustain themselves and still be profitable while paying these huge settlements. And the NCAA tournament, the behemoth that it is, seems to be the easiest vehicle for these universities and the NCAA and its membership to drive new revenue. And I got to be honest with you, I hate it. I do not want to see a single team added to the NCAA tournament beyond where we are now, because if you look at the play-in and you look at how important right now today the conference championships are, and you look at how every game in the month of March mattered this past year, Jake, I don't know that we've ever seen a better example of why not to expand the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. And I think we see this in football and basketball. And with the tournament, I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, well, we were a bubble team, or we were on the bubble of getting in or not being in. And of course, we didn't get in. And so we're victims and, we should have been in. Like, I'm tired of hearing this argument, dude. Like, ultimately, if you're a bubble team, as they call it, if you're that team that's right on the line of you might get in or you might not get in, you didn't do enough to get in. That's the reality of it. And that's the beauty of the basketball side. You're sitting here going out trying to win your conference. And if you don't win your conference, then you don't have a guaranteed, hey, you're right in that thing. Now, obviously, there's a group of teams who don't win their conference that we all know and feel pretty good about, right? I mean, you have that select group that's always competing to be in. You say a school's name and you're like, yeah, they're in the tournament every single year. Okay, that's fine. But I'm just tired of hearing about people saying, hey, we need to expand the tournament because not enough, bubble teams get in. It just that's not good for the sport. What's good for the sport is having a specific setup like we've had for how many ever years now it's been, that everybody knows and everybody understands and they know how to get in. And ultimately, the only reason that anybody's talking about expanding is to make more money.
That's it.
So now we had to have a conversation about, okay, well, how does expanding the tournament make, schools and conferences and the sport more money? Well, obviously, more TV, obviously more opportunities to sell, private money into it and more insurance companies into it. Like that's what this is all about. So I don't love that we're having to talk about expanding the tournament. It's not necessary from a sporting perspective, but ultimately with where money's at and where the business side of college athletics is going, that's why we have to talk about this.
Yeah, I think we can fight it as much as we want. And I hate the idea. I think the NCAA tournament it's special. It's unique. And I say this about the college football playoff. I don't want 12 teams. I'm the guy I'm fine with 4 teams. And I understand that the model that fucks over your team is probably not your ideal model.
Yeah.
But you know what I love as a Notre Dame football fan? Are you one of the best teams in the country? Because if you're in the top 4, it's unequivocal. There's no conversation, right? Like, even with Florida State last year, no quarterback, no bid to the big dance.
Yeah.
Now the problem is we're watering it down, and we're watering it down to, in fact, whore it out, make more money, pimp that ass, right? That's what we're doing with the NCAA tournament here. Let's not chop this up into some big philosophical conversation about how Monmouth College deserves its shot. No, they don't. But I get it. Put more teams in, put more games on TV, make more money.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Sell more hot dogs, dude. Sell more T-shirts, dude. Totally understand it. Everybody's got to make money. That doesn't mean we have to like it. You better learn to love it. But that doesn't mean we got to like it.
Well, and at least on the football side, like, I can kind of understand where people are like, hey, like, we need to expand the playoff just to get to a place where we have a system that determines it on the field. So we don't have to do the whole college football playoff committee thing.
But do we have that now?
I mean, I don't think just expanding the playoff means we have that, but I do think it definitively means we're starting to head in that direction of like, hey, we're going to work towards an NFL model. We're going to work towards, hey, we're going to decide everything on the field. And so
somebody's always going to be pissed.
Well, that might be true, but the reality is in the NFL, it's fine if you're pissed. The reality is you're pissed because your team lost, not because you feel like, oh, we got screwed or we didn't get this or that because a committee decided it. And look, again, I'm firmly on the side of, hey, you didn't have a quarterback, Florida State. You shouldn't have been in. And it's as simple as that. I feel like that was as cut and dry as possible. And Florida State country was the only one who said otherwise, which is fine. You're a Florida State fan, die on the hill. I get it. But ultimately, this basketball tournament expansion thing, while, yeah, sure, I guess if some people want to say it's necessary, I guess from a financial perspective, we want to do anything we can do to make more money, but it's certainly not necessary from a relevancy standpoint or a system standpoint.
And what I want, if you're going to expand the tournament, make it black and white as to how you qualify. That's it. Like this play-in garbage, like in the NBA, it's tens of millions of dollars for the play-in tournament and TV games, and I get it. How much money is this really going to make you? Are you telling me that if you're just going to add 4 teams, why are you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that stood out to me. Like in Ross's reporting is like, hey, if we're just talking about adding 4 teams and, we're going to try and roll this out in 25, 26, like, I don't know. Like I would have thought it would have been like 10, 12 teams. Like 4 teams seems a little light. Like, I'm not sure what the point is.
I don't get that. And you look here at what, Ross is reporting, 68 going to 72 or 76. Okay. 8 teams, that makes it more, I guess, worthy, but an additional at-large selection, as well as one more. And this is the big one one more first 4 site, which means first 4 out, first 4,
yeah.
That's all well and good. I guess I get it. That makes somebody more money. That makes a school more money to host or
but
an
What
arena.
the percentage would be. So, okay, if you add another first 4 site, and obviously you've got schools going there to play and everything. Right. I'm curious, what is your percentage of profit on that step? Because it's easy to say, oh, well, we're adding another site and more teams are going to go there and play, and we're expanding the tournament. We're bringing in another $30 million in revenue. Okay, well, you've got all kinds of costs involved in that revenue. So are you even bringing home half of that revenue?
Well, how many idiots pay $100 for a T-shirt that has their school logo on it in the NCAA? I mean, yes. That's where you're making your money. You're making your money on, you can't tell me beer sales aren't, like all these universities that are now, all of a sudden our morals don't matter. We need to sell out. More Budweiser. Right? Like we're seeing that all across the country.
Yeah.
I think people coming in, putting money in hotels, putting money in airlines, like buying concessions, buying T-shirts, watching on TV, true TV. where the real crime is these shitty basketball games.
I want more.
Right? Like that's where you're making your money. So they wouldn't do it if it was a loss leader, they wouldn't do it.
Right.
But it clearly makes the NCAA money.
Yeah, which they need for obvious reasons. I mean, again, the NCAA has lots of reasons to want to bring in more revenue right now. and I think that hey, if you're a lower end school that maybe was 2 or 3 slots away from making your first tournament ever, or making a first tournament appearance in like 20 years, you're glad to hear this. But I'm just telling you, it's going to add another probably day to the tournament.
And the real problem is that it's all well and good that, again, Monmouth versus Poughkeepsie State. Cool. Wow, Monty, those games are really tight. They're fighting for their lives.
Because it's garbage.
Well, what happens when you run into Connecticut versus Poughkeepsie State in the first round?
Well, that'll be a nice scrimmage. That'll be good.
Right? Like this is not adding to the quality of, the big dance, the NCAA tournament. It's making you more money. I totally get it. But you're not getting Texas Tech squeezed in because we added 8 teams. You're not getting that. This is truly going to be grandma's sewing machine repair academy that is getting into that.
Well, Monty, we started our basketball program 2 seasons ago, and we've really made big strides.
Yeah, look how sharp our needles are.
Yeah.
I mean, I already don't watch the play-in game 9 out of 10 years. Like most years,
Yeah. I mean,
I'll turn it on Thursday.
What have you watched more of, the Euros or the NCAA tournament?
Your mom.
Okay.
The Euros. I'll watch the Euros more than the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
But I'm also a football fanatic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Everybody wants to conflate and everybody wants to put football and basketball in the same conversation. We're not expanding the college football playoff for the same reasons we're expanding the NCAA tournament. Basketball's, as I continue to tell you guys, and you continue to tell me that I'm an idiot.
Well, Monty, you're stupid. Stop rolling this nonsense out.
All I'm saying is basketball is a revenue machine. It's an ATM machine for college sports. Football has to be a lot more, in my opinion, to make more money because of how much more expensive football is. You have to really be pragmatic. You have to really be, in my opinion, you have to be much more risk averse in football, which is why we're talking about things like a God tier, a Super League, call it whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That is a much larger initiative. Playing the championship of college football the Saturday before the Super Bowl on Sunday. That's massive revenue. That's a big bump in revenue. Is adding, Karen's bed making academy like really that much of a revenue generator? I'd love to see the numbers on that.
No.
I'd love to see it. In all honesty, if we're talking about, Tarleton basketball for all my Texans, if we're talking about, the worst team in the Mountain West, and I know that we are now a Mountain West show.
Yeah, right. I mean, we've graduated from being, an SEC show, an Ohio State show.
We're an AAC show.
An AAC show.
We're a Big East show.
A Big East show.
Well, aren't you guys still a Pac-12 show? Exactly right.
Now we're a Monty West show,
All I'm saying is I'm not that interested unless it's going to make people a significant amount of money. That to me is all that matters. And I think basketball is incredibly important. And yes, I sit here and I fillet Brett Yormark on a pretty regular basis about the things that he's done, the programs he's brought to the Big 12, the revenue generating opportunities, the Mexicos, the Rutgers, notice that basketball is part of all of it. Right. And you look at the All-State Big 12 conference. It's huge for basketball. It's a reach into basketball for All-State, who's already got football. And I look at these things Brett Yormark is the future of college athletics. And I think it is his push to split basketball and football into two separate conversations, really into two separate business units. That's why we're having these conversations, because at some point you can no longer ignore the fact that college sports is no longer about TV money. And I will say that every day that we talk about this. It's no longer about TV money. It's about hedge fund guys and, little Jimmy, who was never an athlete in high school, but now is a billionaire, so he has a seat at the table.
Right.
That's what this is about. This is about T. Boone Pickens on steroids. This is about real dollars, big dollars. And if it's not, let's just not do it.
Right.
So if we're just going to do 4 teams, and again, it's going to be your grandma's liver spot academy, I'm not interested in it. But if it's 8 teams and we can get, think of the worst basketball program in the Big Ten, Michigan. If we can get fucking Michigan into the NCAA tournament, we shouldn't do it. We should not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I think that if you're going to do something, you need the teams getting in that are not getting in now to be, even somewhat relevant, like even somewhat good to watch. And that's where I say, okay, cool, expand tournament, but just make sure you do it right. Don't mess it up, because it's already a product that is really good. It's set up well. People understand it and celebrate it every year. Don't mess it up.
Yeah. This is such a, anyway. Thank you, Gumby. This is obviously a New Mexico stage show. Exactly right. Dakota Tubbs, I thought this was a Chargers show.
Well,
there's a big whale's vagina on the wall.
Hey,
Always love some vagina on this show.
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
Oak State James.
Now,
does he choose violence
James,
today?
Before we read your comment, you had a day off yesterday, right?
We hit the reset button for you, James.
We hit the reset button. So, try not to mess it up, dude. It's okay.
Almost had a hole-in-one yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, the Monty Show sponsors the Mountain West Conference. We can all chip in next year. It'll be the Monty West Conference.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Yep.
The Chad Carter. I mean, yeah, you're an Ohio State show. Columbus is dead center of your background.
I mean,
The Monty Show. OG Gary. Expanding the tournament is a mistake, in my opinion. IMO, that means in my opinion.
Yeah, that's abbreviation and stuff.
Yeah, for the Cool Kids Club. How about win games and take basketball seriously and get into the tournament?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I love the idea of you hitting the like button right here on the Monty program. Today we are partnered with our friends at Dude Wipes and Manscaped to bring you the Monty Show today. We appreciate those guys hopping on board the show. Make sure that you do us a favor. You're watching on YouTube. Hello to everybody on Twitter. We are, X. Hello, X. Fucking Elon. We are rapidly expanding on X. I hate it so much. Make sure that you find us on X, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. We live stream every day on X. Come on over to YouTube. Make sure you click on the Dude Wipes and the Manscaped.
Yes.
Manscaped wants you to know they're about a lot more than just their hedge trimmer, which is how you well, unless you're Jake, you just let it, grow like a forest. But those of us refined gentlemen understand how to use a Manscaped razor.
Yeah.
And their hedge trimmer is great. I have it. I'm an owner. I am a customer.
Yes.
Manscaped is great. And later in the show, we are going to debate moist Duncan Hines cake.
Mm-hmm.
Moist flushable wipes versus toilet paper. Now, you idiots that are team lean and you sit on your hands.
Dude, You don't sit on your
Dumbass.
hands, dude. It's a nice little lean over and you knock it down. That's it, dude. We're not team squat. We're not team like stand.
Jake, if you're putting a knuckle in, it's not.
Dude, I'm not putting a knuckle in, bro.
Wow, that just happened. Anyway, point is, thanks to our friends at Dude Wipes and Manscaped. Make sure you go check out their stuff. It's on our YouTube channel. It's linked depending on how you're watching, either right below or to the right. Make sure you check them out.
Do it.
Dude Wipes and Manscaped present the Monty Show today.